Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. So, Joe just finished his second week since COVID, right? So when he came back last week, Tom Segura, they got into the whole thing. Joe was joking around, not really joking around, but about suing CNN. And then that last Wednesday, CK Chin, a restaurant guy, he was actually very good. I thought it was going to be boring. They were just going to talk about food, but not so. It's highly recommended. And then Brett Weinstein and Heather Hying. So they really got into that ivermectin, the whole horse dewormer. Yeah, right. Okay. So, and this week, and I'm going to do a video here about Billy Corben, Joe's good friend. Billy Corben has been on. I don't know. I'm like good friend. I don't know if he hangs out with him all the time, but they do. They do like and respect each other. Billy Corben has been on at least four times, I believe, three, four times. Promoting his documentaries, which are incredible. Cocaine Cowboys. He's got a new Cocaine Cowboys thing coming up. Well, that's on Netflix now. I saw it. It's very good. Love it. Screwball. I think that's one of my favorite of his documentaries. Screwball about A-Rod and the steroids in Florida. It's all Florida-based stuff. Incredible. I love that guy. And by the way, so I'm going to get to that in a minute. Then Kyle Dunnigan and Kurt Metzger. I think Kyle Dunnigan is one of the most underrated comics. I think his videos, some, not all, are some of the best stuff on the internet. They're absolutely hilarious. He does Joe Biden. A couple of years ago, he was doing Trump with those face swapping things. Oh, and of course, the Kardashian family and Caitlyn Jenner. It's really funny stuff. And then yesterday, he had, or Thursday, I should say, Anna Lemke, and they were talking about addiction. But I'm going to save that for later. Kyle Dunnigan and Anna Lemke. So Joe, when he came back, I think he said that he doesn't want to kill himself anymore, like doing 5 podcasts a week, right? Since he's been back, he's done 3. He's been doing 3 a week, Tuesday through Thursday, nothing crazy. I was kind of hoping that Joe, today's Saturday, by the way, I was hoping that Joe would throw one up on a Saturday. He does that every once in a while, but not so. So let me talk about Billy Corben. I'm going to show you a little clip here. As I said, Joe, Billy Corben are good friends. They respect each other. But boom, right at the get-go, the COVID thing dividing. And you see Billy Corben sort of jabbing Joe about the Rogan virus, the Corrogan, right? Talking about, he's for the vaccine, Billy Corben, and we know Joe is not. He basically said, I'm not necessarily against it, but I guess he's saying that his thing is exercising, vitamin D, all that kind of stuff, and then that's just basically his thrust. And then especially if you have COVID, you have immunity. You already have the antibodies. So why are you going to? I understand that argument. I really do. So, but it's kind of difficult, right? If you've had Corona, you beat it like Joe did in a couple of days. Like, why am I going to have the vaccine? I get it. Okay. But here we go. Billy Corben, watch this clip. Billy and Joe sort of go at it. And it's kind of funny. And I got to come on, props, thumbs up for Billy Corben for not kissing Joe's ass. Watch this.
Hello, Billy. Yeah, hello, Joe.
Always good to see you, my friend.
I'm just here so you can give COVID back to Florida.
I wonder if it works like that. Florida gave it to me. I've got something for it. I'll have to figure out how to pay Florida back.
Don't say Florida never gave you anything.
Listen, man, I had a good time down there. It was a rough few days, but I had a good time.
I feel like everybody has the same Florida story, and it's just that.
Well, Florida is just Florida, one of the things that Florida's gotten a lot of positive reviews since the pandemic. Florida came up during the pandemic, right? A lot of people were negative on it. They thought that the restrictions were terrible and, he needs to do more and DeSantis is killing people. But a lot of people are like, you know what? At least I can go to restaurants. Florida lets you go out. Florida doesn't want to have you have mandates and the tax situation. Florida came up. You got to admit, Florida became a more attractive place during the pandemic.
It did.
August was the deadliest month in Florida in the history of the pandemic.
This past August?
Yeah, 1 in 5 COVID deaths in the United States occurred in Florida. Now it's almost as many as 1 in 4 COVID deaths in the United States are occurring in Florida. We've had 13 Miami-Dade County Public Schools employees die of COVID. That includes teachers, bus drivers, people die of COVID since mid-August.
Jesus.
Last month we had, I think, no less than 20 police officers in the state of Florida die. We had a 10-day period in which we had a police officer a day dying of COVID. If you go to the Officer Down Memorial page, the executive director there, a sergeant from Fairfax, Virginia, says that we, by the end of the pandemic, it will overtake the terror attacks of September 11th, 2001 as the single deadliest incident in the history of United States law enforcement. I mean, if I told you that there's a killer out there in Florida killing a cop a day, there'd be fucking martial law. There'd be tanks in the streets. There'd be guys in tactical gear and assault rifles, rightfully so. And there is, and it's COVID-19. And these people are interacting with the public, of course, to boot. And it's a tragedy. It's a human tragedy.
What is the difference between the way Florida is treating it and the way other states are treating it? So Florida is having these, if so many cops in particular are dying in Florida. Is that the case everywhere? Is that the case with all first responders, that they're all at risk? Or is Florida uniquely dangerous?
The short answer is yes. And by the way, what the fuck is happening in Florida is an evergreen question.
Right.
But
that is the question.
Yeah, but the answer, the COVID-19 for the last 2 years is the single largest cause of death for law enforcement officers, more so than all other causes combined.
That's crazy when you think about the amount of violence and the amount of crime that takes place.
Yeah. COVID-19, number 1 cop killer for 2 years running and counting.
And this is true everywhere. Just everywhere, or just in Florida?
That's true nationally, but Florida is uniquely because we're open for business. That kind of pro-business, pro-freedom.
See, Joe doesn't want to hear this,
attitude. Right? Listen, Florida has no indigenous industry. Okay, we don't produce anything but oranges and machine guns. That's what Florida makes. We sell the sunshine.
Do you guys make machine guns?
Yeah, we have gun manufacturers in Florida.
Oh, it's like
we sell the sunshine. Okay, and that just means we have to. What we sell, we're all just tourism people, right? We knock down the old shit. We build new shit. We build it taller. We build it bigger so we can attract 1,000 newcomers tomorrow. It's a Ponzi scheme. The economy is a Ponzi scheme. It's not self-sufficient. It relies solely on new outside money and investors coming in the next day. So we subsist from hustle to hustle. So our pandemic hustle was, come here. Everybody else is on lockdown. Come to Florida. And a lot of people did, and a lot of people died as a consequence of that. So some businesses did better, and people died. I mean, that's the reality.
I was looking at something today that was showing the deaths in Florida per capita versus the deaths in California per capita.
See, Joe's fighting back.
When it was age adjusted. And Florida had less deaths when it was age adjusted. When
Joe won't
they
let it go.
Looked at it in comparative to how old
Doesn't want to
people
admit he's
die
wrong
normally
here.
anyway. And Florida has a much older population.
We do.
It was showing that per capita, more people are dying in a very locked down state like California.
Well, I don't know that that's entirely age adjusted. It may be.
Yeah, it's age adjusted.
But there's a 27-year-old police officer, a mother of a 2-year-old, 5-month-old.
She died from COVID.
Died from COVID. So, and these
are they getting bad treatment?
I think they're.
There's a reflection.
I think it's several things. Listen, treatment is no substitute for the vaccine. It's just not.
This is where it gets a little.
Okay, people. The vaccine is helping people. It is helping people to. It's less likely they'll get infected. It's more likely they will survive. That just bears out. I think it's the vaccine hesitation is what I think it is. I think that's the major cause. And it's particularly problematic when you have public-facing people like law enforcement officers who are interacting. Yeah. They can come to your window to write a traffic ticket, and that could be a death sentence.
It's very unusual for a 27-year-old person with good health care, someone who's been taken care of, to die from COVID.
Yes.
It's very, very statistically unusual.
It's an
and that is
anomaly.
anecdotal. That's one example. So I'm not saying that is the rule.
Did she have
in Florida.
pre-existing medical conditions?
Of course, Joe's going to ask these
comorbidities?
questions.
I have no idea, but let's be honest. Americans, by and large, are not in as good a shape as you're in. Like, that's just, we're walking, talking comorbidities. That's just the reality. But the truth is that there is a safe and effective and in fact free way to. Because that's the thing too is the treatment is not a pre-infection prophylaxis. It's something you do later. It's not something you do to avoid getting the virus. And here's the thing: once you have the virus, for some people that's a death sentence. It doesn't matter how you treat it.
Wait a minute, stop. Yeah. I don't know if that's true. Because we don't know what they're doing. When you say it doesn't matter how you treat them, if they treat them with monoclonal antibodies in particular early on in their infection,
which are available in Florida.
Yeah, they're available everywhere. Yeah. It's shown to have an incredible rate. There's a recent study. Fauci actually talked about it. So 85%.
Again, he's defending
keeps people
the
from
stuff
being
that he
hospitalized.
did.
Absolutely, and I don't begrudge anyone a cocktail or a kitchen sink approach once you get infected. You should try everything that you and your doctor. Right, but want to do.
You were saying for some people, if they get infected, there's nothing they can do. And I'm saying, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if they're doing that. I think some people don't know what to do. And they're basically sent home and told to take Tylenol. If they have poor health care, they're getting bad advice and they're getting bad health care once they're infected.
I think there's a lot of people who don't have access to quality health care. There's a lot of people that don't have access to health care, period. And there's a lot of people.
If you're a cop,
yes.
I mean, that should be paramount. Yes. I mean, if you are interacting with the general public the way police officers are during a pandemic, they should have access to the best health care possible, especially if they're infected. I mean, if you're going to ask these people to protect you, you should absolutely protect them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
that's
why I said it's a human tragedy. Yeah. Well, what's happening. But I think that it starts with, listen, I'm a documentarian, so I'm a natural-born skeptic, but I'm also pro-fact. Because what we do is cultural anthropologists, which is effectively what
I'm going to pause it here.
Documentarians
you
are.
can see the reflection here, but no biggie.
Right? We make observations, we ask questions,
if you haven't
we
seen
develop
it, watch
hypotheses,
it. Billy,
we collect
Corben,
data,
and my dog
we
wants to go
experiment,
out
we
too.
analyze that data, and we draw conclusions.
They're
With the best
buddies,
information
Billy,
we have
Corben, and
at the
Joe
time.
Rogan, but
I don't know how all of these
it
police
gets a
officers
little heated here. Okay.
were treated. I know they died, and I know that.
Okay, here he is, Dakota. Dakota has to go. Okay. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. I love this guy. Look at those blue eyes. That's not even a good shot here. Okay. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here in Tabor Talk.